Alright, so hi guys, we're going to take a lot of these videos and we're going to take time to show you how, a lot of the processes that we've had to figure out ourselves, screen printing. So one of those processes is cleaning out the screens, So once you're done with the job, pretty much, you have all your ink left over. And
what kind of ink is that?
this is a plastisol. I found that it's easier to clean plastisol than water-based. Also, like reclaiming the screen is a lot easier. The ink doesn't really stay on the screen as much. It's easier to take off. So pretty much right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up all the plastisol left on the screen and on the knives,
So we're still going to reuse that screen, right?
Yeah, so the best part about plastisol is that it's not really doesn't really attack the emulsion on the screens, so you can reuse it a lot more than you can with water-based. Water-based, since it's a water-based product, it's going to eat the emulsion, and the emulsion isn't waterproof, so it's water resistant. You can do things like hardening it on the UV screen or the UV exposure unit, or leaving it out in the sun to help it harden. But plastisol is less, I don't want to say corrosive, but I mean less
maintenance.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll last longer.
And it'll last longer on your screens.
Yeah.
So pretty much right now, you guys just want to clean up all your leftover ink on the screen. And what's really good about plastisol, it's going to stay fresh, and it only cures once you take it up to 320 degrees. With water-based inks, it's once it's out here, the water is gonna evaporate out of the ink, and then it's gonna dry up, and you'll have issues of it drying up on your screen. Where water-based, you're not going to. So that's another plus of working with water-based. And then you always want to, this has been a long little process for us, but making sure the squeegees are cleaned, right away. With either water-based or plastisol, you want to clean these as fast as you can, because you don't want any ink to dry on them. It's going to just be a lot harder for you. These squeegees here are from Ryonet. They're the Ergo Force, I believe, and they're easier to clean. The wood kind of stains up a little more, so it's harder to take care of. But little things like that. And then here's another product we use. Oh, sorry. I'm just taking off this stuff right here. And like I said.
So what is that, like a cake spatula you got?
Yeah, this is a cake spatula. I mean, you could get from like baking stores. It's the same thing. It's just nice and flexible. Obviously, you don't want it to be sharp. You don't want any sharp edges on it. But the screens are tough, and the mesh is tough. So you don't really. I haven't come across yet where I've ripped a screen during this process anyway. But make sure you get all this stuff off the screen as much as you can. I got a little excess here. But that's it, right? Just get all the ink off of it. And then you're gonna want to use a product to remove the plastisol. With water-based, you could technically just use, water, because that'll wash it out. But with plastisol, you're gonna have to use a chemical, and that's kind of downside of plastisol. You're gonna have to use chemicals. Where water-based, you can be more eco-friendly. Well, we print here. We use both inks, but on something like this, quicker, easier, we're gonna just go ahead and we use plastisol on this run. So right now we have MC Logan's Textile Press Wash. And that press wash is what we use while the screen's on here, so we can continue using it for the next run. So it's pretty simple. You're just going to spray the screen. And actually, before I do that, I usually I have a little mat, but I'll usually throw some napkins on the bottom here. So any of the excess
ink.
Yeah, ink and the ink and the the chemical we're using. The textile wash doesn't go on into the platen, so something like that should be fine. And that way you can just work it off now. So you'll see it goes pretty quick. You know, you want to go around the screen. Kind of put a lot of plastic on this one, got stuck into the tape. You just pretty much want to make sure that all the ink that's on the screen comes off. That way you can you know, reuse the screen again instead of burning another image and, you know, wasting your emulsion and then wasting another screen and your time, you know. So you can get kind of the best as you can. It's a little on this one, a lot of went into the cracks too, but you know, on this one, we've used the screen a bunch of times already, so we're probably just going to go ahead and replace the or take the tape off as well, but just want to make sure all the
Then you get most of the ink out.
Exactly, get most of the ink out. And you know, we've left the screen maybe like 2 weeks with you know, a little bit of plastisol might have been in it still on the corners or in the actual lettering or in the part of the design where you wouldn't want it to be. But you know, we found it once you kind of because it is plastisol and it only hardens once you bake it all the way to, you know, 320. It'll push out of your screens. Got to give it a couple runs, you know. But I mean, you can see it's pretty much almost done, ready to go. So here's gonna take this off.
Oh, you're right. So it did come through.
Yeah. See how it comes through, just here and there, and then I'll go ahead and just do the front side. Make sure nothing comes through really. But it's really important to make sure you clean your screens after you do your print job pretty quickly, just because you don't want anything to stain the lettering. You know, you'll have a harder issue. So, you know, you take the time to do it right now. You won't have to worry about it at the end. So I'll probably just do one more spray and that should be it.
Looks pretty clean right there.
Looks good. So what I'll do now is I'll just take the tape off, since we found it. Well, I'll stop you guys right there, and that's pretty much it. You know, once you clean up, you just got to make sure your image stays, you know, free of any ink or any plastisol in it, and just make sure it's wiped down, and then you can store it and then reuse it later, so you don't waste your screens. So thanks for watching, guys.